Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and it's here. Easily, likely one of the heaviest weekends we'll have this year or this month at least. It's here. It's finally here after all this time, after years of waiting and fighting and just tweeting and promoting the release of this version of the DC movie Justice League. The official Snyder cut, the director's cut of Justice League is here. And yeah, I'm gonna be reacting to it. And I have been looking forward to watching this in general for a long time. I did contemplate for a while whether I was gonna react to it or whether I was actually just gonna watch it in my own time and do a review afterwards. But I figured, you know what? I really want to give like more in-depth and more kind of real-time thoughts on this. So I feel like a reaction could definitely be a lot of fun to do and to experience it that way with you guys too. So yeah, the reaction is here, and it's gonna be a long one. I mean, it was slated from like as soon as Zack Snyder himself actually got the go-ahead from Warner Brothers to actually go ahead and work, or like to actually finish off his original vision and version of the movie that he was unfortunately taken down from way back when. He like Zach himself did emphasize, like, this is going to be a long movie. I'm going to do things the way I originally intended to do, the way I want to do, the way it's supposed to be and stuff. So it's like a 4 hour movie. I think at one point they did actually contemplate doing it in like a mini series format, so it would actually be kind of released in separate, like, like video files that would autoplay one after the other. But now I think they've scrapped the mini series idea, but it's still like a 4 hour movie, and they've also broken it down into like 5 or 6 or 7 different kind of chapters, and each chapter is kind of like visually titled and kind of easily labeled one after the other so that people know when to stop and stuff. And people have also been recommended to actually watch it with breaks in between, to watch one chapter after the other and actually kind of take breaks and process things accurately. So for that reason as well, I will be actually breaking this reaction down into reactions to each individual chapter, as opposed to watching the entire thing in one sitting, because it's just otherwise it's going to be a nightmare to edit and upload, and it's just going to be like a lot more time consuming than I'm used to. So I think this will be easier and a lot quicker and a lot more kind of like a lot more fluid of a reaction. So I'm a lot more fluid of a reaction. So I'm hoping to be able to get this out by this weekend. It might stretch into Monday a little bit, and also it will be like any potential copyright issues pending too. So hopefully this will go up as soon as soon as I can get it up, and it will be great for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, but yeah, it's going to be a very different movie from the 2017 version that I think most of us have seen. And there are, I think, generally negative reviews, but I think a lot of people also just have kind of mixed feelings in general, and I think I fall somewhat into the latter. I didn't love it. I didn't. I thought. I definitely thought it could be a lot better, and it definitely didn't really feel like the Justice League movie I went in expecting after having enjoyed the trailers. So there's that, and I think I think it's only natural to kind of draw comparisons between this and that version, even though they are kind of intentionally made by two very different directors. So yeah, so with this one, hopefully, I think whether or not we're gonna get the greatest Justice League ever, that's that's kind of dependent on each individual opinion as to what like a great Justice League movie is. Whether or not it's gonna be better than the first one, because it's gonna be a lot more kind of fleshed out, and like Snyder himself is kind of continuing his own kind of story that he started with Man of Steel. So that I think that will definitely kind of like lend like a hand in favor of this kind of being a better version and like a more enjoyable and more kind of thought-provoking version too. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this to see what it's all about. We'll get like a lot more screen time for characters that didn't get as much as they should have in the 2017 version, and we get a lot more villains too. Like this one, like I think Snyder's version originally was meant to actually have Darkseid being a more prominent villain, and in this one we've seen from the trailers Darkseid will definitely be in this, but we'll also get Steppenwolf, like a much better looking Steppenwolf, and hopefully like a more intimidating Steppenwolf too. And there, I think from the trailers too, like that they've actually shown us like a bunch of other villains that'll be showing up and doing their own bidding for Darkseid and actually making themselves known. So it will be like an actual proper kind of like a lengthy like an appropriately lengthy movie. So I think like Snyder, like he's made it that long because he feels like that's what's appropriate to actually fit in the story he wants and to show off the story he wants, and not just for the sake of, oh, sit down with a bucket of popcorn and just lay back and relax for like an entire day or whatever. So yeah, I'm nervous to get into the movie. I won't lie, I'm nervous to get in and start doing a reaction to it, but I am excited nonetheless. So it is a kind of excited nervousness, kind of anxiety, like excitement and anxiety running simultaneously. So yeah, I can't wait to get into it. And yeah, so this reaction will be to chapter 1, and then chapter 2, 3, 4, and etc. will be separate reactions, hopefully coming up one after the other, depending on everything going on. So yeah, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier is coming out tomorrow. Yeah, again, this is going to be a heavy weekend. This is going to be a very, very heavy weekend. And that's on top of my all my regular stuff coming out. So it's going to be crazy, but it's been a long time, so I'm hoping you guys are looking forward to this as much as I am, and I hope you guys enjoy this reaction as much as I enjoy reacting to the movie. So yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. I mean, well, yeah, no, so this will be, as always, this will be the highlight reel of reaction to the movie too. So each individual chapter will be its own reaction, so then each chapter will have its own kind of full-length reaction available on Patreon too. So this one, obviously, for those of you watching this in the US, you will know that that the movie is available on HBO Max, as it is exclusively available to the US. But luckily in the UK, HBO and Sky have their own kind of network deal type thing going on. So for those of you watching this reaction in the UK, you can get your own copy of the episode. You can get your own copy of the movie from Now TV or Sky Cinema, whichever one you're signed up to, and then sync that up to the full-length reaction, and then you'll be good to go on that end too. So I am streaming this. I am streaming this off of the Now TV website, so that is a very lucky thing. And I think I've heard some people are actually be it on Now TV or even HBO Max. Some people are actually issuing experiencing network issues because everyone's rushing in. Because I think here it was released at like 7 a.m. and I think in America it was released at like midnight. So people are rushing online to finally get their hands on a copy of the movie and actually try and actually get it, and the internet is just crashing because of the Snyder Cut. So I mean, we knew this would happen, the Snyder Cut. I mean, I think not just the Snyder Cut, but with anything that's kind of as hyped up as this is, and especially with this kind of media too, like everyone's excited and everyone's angsty to get into the movie and see what it is. I mean, it happened with WandaVision too. WandaVision crashed Disney Plus multiple times, especially with the later episodes. So I can only assume the same thing will happen with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But yeah, that's the internet. When people want to see it, and when that many people want to see it, it's like, it's going to experience some kind of, traffic issues and everything. But we're here. We're finally here. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I really want to see. I mean, I know that there is going to be some content that was kept that is actually kept in this that was also in the original 2017 version, and some of Snyder's footage is still in the 2017 version, but the majority of it is Whedon reshoots. But with this one, it's going to be all Snyder. It's going to be all Snyder, and hopefully even some of those scenes will be more fleshed out or more kind of lengthened and more kind of more well established and stuff, and more enjoyable. So I can't wait for it. I don't know why I'm nervous. I don't know why my voice is actually shaking. It's actually cracking and stuff like that. So I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm nervous to get into the movie. That's it. So, oh yeah, deep breaths. But yeah, we're finally here. Justice League. So this is chapter 1. I think it's called Batman. I think Don't Count on It. I think each chapter also has like an actual title. I think this one is called like Don't Count on It Batman or something, and then each one afterwards introduces the characters and stuff like that. So yeah, you're on to Justice League, the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, chapter 1, official movie reaction. Let's go. Oh, that's kryptonite. The spear, or is that an arrow? I think it looks kind of like a spear, like from BVS. Oh yeah. Carrying on straight from BVS. I need to watch Wonder Woman 84, by the way. I need to do that. I need to watch Wonder Woman 84. I haven't done that yet. I don't feel like I need to watch that before this, but I still need to get around to it. I should point out, I also can't remember how the 2017 version started. I've only seen it twice, and that was pretty soon after it was originally released too. I haven't watched it since then. Yeah, Steppenwolf. Yeah, I think this was in the Ultimate Edition, wasn't it? Steppenwolf and Lex Luthor. Willem Dafoe. Oh, he was an Aquaman. I was about to say Willem Dafoe's in this. Yeah, no, he was an Aquaman. He was in Aquaman. Yeah. I love this opening already. I love this opening. Like Superman's scream, shockwave just being sent all the way across the earth, even reaching underwater. And as soon as it happens, the mother boxes are like, oh damn, the Kryptonian's dead. Steppenwolf is coming. Oh jeez, her arms. Oh damn, okay. Yep, oh, it's already cracking open. Part 1. Here we go, part 1. Part 1, don't count on it, Batman. Yeah.
Go over, Dusty.
Clark's grave. Yep. Yep. Well, we know what happens to this. We know what happens to this house in the end. Yep.
Maybe we could catch the next king tide in Jamaica. Might be a meta-human or two in Fiji. Costa Rica's nice. Found him.
Oh, I loved Alfred and BVS. I loved Alfred and BVS.
Said no.
You don't miss a day, do you?
Like it here.
Yep. Superman's grave. A much more public place. Yeah. Yeah, so this is what, this is where we get Diana's fight scene, the museum fight scene. Oh. Okay, okay.
We'll be making a statement shortly. Until then, if I see any movement, you'll have a lot of dead kids in your hands.
Just like Bolton. Just like Bolton. Oh god, look at her! Look at her! There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Who are you? The lasso of Hestia compels you to reveal the truth.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I love that dodge. I love it. All of her head tilts and her dodges, the way she dodges, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh. Okay, this is very swift. This is very swift. Whoa. Oh. I don't remember it going down like that in the other version. That is much cleaner. There we go. There we go. Oh, fully automatic. Oh. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love all of it. I love all of it. Yep. I love how much more fluid this feels and how it plays out. Yeah. Boom. Kaboom. I mean, it's still properly damaged, but still, she saved more lives than he killed. She saved many more lives than he managed to actually kill. So, yeah. Oh, she was in the trailer as well. She was a little girl in the trailer.
You okay, princess?
Aww.
Can I be like you someday?
Aww.
You can be anything you want to be.
See, Zack Snyder knows how to pull off Wonder Woman, not fucking faceplant shots. He actually knows how to pull off an inspirational and motivational Wonder Woman. Yeah. Fucking Whedon. That was so much better. That was so much better than what we originally got.
I have come to enlighten you to the great darkness.
Oh, jeez, yeah, he looks so embellished. So embellished.
Daughters of Themyscira, show him your fear!
Oh, that TV spot was great. That TV spot was honestly great, yeah. Getting so much combat, it's only part 1. Getting so much combat, it's only part 1. But this is a great kind of way to set the tone for the combat already. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Get it, Hippolyta. Get it. This was also rated R, so I'm afraid for like how much like what kind of combat they might show, because it was also rated R. Isn't she from The Walking Dead?
That's right.
So many familiar faces. Yeah, I think she's from The Walking Dead. I think she's Yumiko. Yeah, I think that's Yumiko. God, they're so buff. Ugh. I love it. I love it. I love that Zack's also not just not afraid to show off how strong and like how like fearsome they are as warriors. Like, yeah, you want buff women? We will give you buff women. We will give you the buffest of Amazons. Oh, jeez, yeah. No, he's still... No, that's not going to take him down. That ain't going to take him down. Oh. Oh, it just throws the damn horse. He just throws the whole horse. Oh, jeez. The arrows are getting stuck in him. It's not like they're even bouncing off. They're just getting stuck. Oh, Christ. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Grab that box. You grab that box. There we go. Oh. Yeah. Just a wild game of pass the freaking parcel, or like hot potato, just passing the mother box from one person to another. So a lot of this is very, very similar and very familiar from the original cut. A lot of it is very similar to the theatrical version. Wait, she's not dead, is she? She's just like pinned under the horse. That doesn't... I mean, I take it she had other injuries. Like, I mean, obviously being crushed by a horse would be painful, but would it actually kill you? Because like her upper body, like, you know, major organs are still up there. I don't know. Being crushed by a horse would not be a comfortable feeling, but regardless, yeah, she's gone.
Fire has not burned for 5,000 years.
Oh, no.
Men won't know what it means. Men won't.
Diana will. She's out there. Yeah, Diana will. Yeah, she's still out there. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you let her go in the first Wonder Woman movie then, isn't it? Oh, that's part one. Okay, part one. Okay. Damn. Wait. Okay, that's part one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's part two. Like I said, will be a separate reaction, and that is just under an hour. I've been recording for just under an hour, so I think these do comfortably sit within the kind of half an hour to an hour range, which seems very, very kind of, you know, kind of concise and compact for fluid storytelling. I think with this, like, it definitely seems like, you know, Zack's not really wasting any time. He's not gonna, I mean, you know, like he literally, I think it feels like he really won't have any scenes or any kind of sequences or anything like that won't be essential to the story, or at least won't make sense for the story. Like, there won't be any, like, there may or may not be comedy with, like, necessary characters, but, you know, like, there definitely won't be comedy that kind of takes away from the sincerity or the kind of gravity of what the film's supposed to be, and there won't be anything that kind of feels like, oh, it takes too much time out of me, because, like, it sits at 4 hours, so, you know, like, any kind of rational person would be like, oh, that's way too long for a fucking movie. Like, I mean, people had the same complaints about Endgame too, like, oh, this, like, you know, it's gonna feel like it's too long, there's gonna be so much they can take out of it, but then Endgame had that runtime for its very own special reason. So with this, I feel like I feel like with this, it sits for the same reason too, and like Zack as well, being the one and only director as well, he feels like that's the right kind of length to execute his vision. So I feel like it's also, I think it's a lot more kind of, it's easier to digest knowing that this is in chapters, and like the filmmakers themselves have actually gone out of their way to kind of tell you which parts are which, and like when to actually kind of pause, take a step back, think and stuff. Like with Endgame, it's like it hits you all at once, and it's just like one continuous sequence, and afterwards you're just completely like, you're burnt out, but in a good way because of what you've witnessed. But with this one, it's like, you know, with this, Snyder clearly wants you to actually, you know, think about what you're seeing, and actually, you know, think about the story in that sense too, and actually show that, you know, it's not just story, it's an actual progression of events one after the other, and things only get more and more serious and more kind of more worrisome as time goes on. So yeah, but that was chapter one. Don't count it, Batman. So part one. But yeah, that was great. That was a great opening. I love the opening. I think I mentioned it in the reaction. I'll mention it now. Like, I cannot for the life of me remember like how the 2017 version actually opened up, how it started. I think I remember very little besides from the Amazon sequence, I think, and in terms of fight scenes, like the tunnel sequence and the final fight between the JLA and Steppenwolf and stuff, and obviously there were problems in like with that with those fights in its own regard, with in accordance with that version of the film. But with this one, I think the opening was honestly some Zack Snyder level kind of filmography, like it carrying on straight from the ending of BVS, and especially not just that, but also showing how the ending, one of the most kind of pivotal moments of BVS impacts the opening of Justice League. Superman screams. I think we saw that in the trailer too, an actual flashback to Superman screams. Then we saw the shockwaves. So those shockwaves were in fact Superman's dying screams being let loose across the entire world, pretty much, and that kind of that scene setting the tone for the film too, the dying screams of the last son of Krypton is what awakens the three mother boxes, and it's that takes on a kind of theme and a kind of tonal definition of its own, almost. I feel the strong, what is arguably the strongest member of the JLA dying is what awakens the mother boxes and makes them kind of aware that, okay, now one of the greatest powers on this world is down. So now the mother boxes are it's it's basically excuse me, just need to hydrate for a second. With one of its most almighty protectors now gone, the mother boxes are basically free real estate for a villain like Steppenwolf, and Zack makes that known from the beginning, okay, Superman is dead, so now an even bigger threat is coming, now that Superman has been taken out, that kind of message is sent and received by the audience in the first few frames of the movie, minus the kind of intros, of course. So that opening, seeing that already, I can just tell, okay, this is gonna be that kind of movie, but it's also it's Snyder being known to actually set, but also kind of over time establish his tones throughout his movies. I can tell it's gonna be the death of Superman, but also the rebirth of Superman is gonna be something kind of worth watching, something worth experiencing, and Man of Steel, easily one of my all-time favorite kind of superhero films, and with that one, Snyder kind of established that he knows how to kind of do those kinds of hopeless and fearful kind of tones for characters, like what happens to characters, what kind of struggles they go through, and also with a team up movie like this, how the death of one impacts the rest and how they kind of cope with it. And now, I mean, to begin with, I think it's going with the same way. It's just Bruce and Dinah so far, but they are aware of the other kind of metahumans out there, the other enhanced individuals out there. They are trying to work to get them together, but so far it's not really going good. But yeah, that opening scene was bloody brilliant. And then we had Bruce finding Arthur. So I think, yeah, that another thing I kind of felt from the get go. A lot of this stuff, I think, because it makes me feel what he's keeping in. It's also a good enough kind of a good enough way to identify what in the 2017 version is actually Snyder, original Snyder shot stuff, because in this version he would have no need to take anything that Joss reshot, because it's not a part of his vision, it was part of Joss's vision. Joss's reshoots, for Joss's reshoots, he's gonna leave that stuff alone. And I think I actually remember reading somewhere he never even watched it. He never actually watched the Joss Whedon 2017 version. He never actually watched it. He just kind of, I think I don't know if that was actually because of the bad reviews or because it personally wasn't something that he created. He started off the project, but then he momentarily wasn't able to finish it off. But now he is. But I think he actually said that he was never. I think it had something to do with Christopher Nolan, probably, because I think I read somewhere else that Christopher Nolan, Snyder said he hadn't, he had never actually watched the 2017 version, but then he never said why. But then in a separate interview with Chris Nolan, he actually said, "Oh, I warned my buddy Zack, dude, just don't watch it. Don't put yourself through it. Just don't watch it." Christopher Nolan watched it, and he warned Zack against watching it, and then Zack never actually actually watched it, but just he never said why. He didn't tell anyone told him not to watch it. He didn't say that he didn't watch it because of bad reviews. He just said, oh, why, I haven't actually seen that version yet. So yeah, so with this one, I think it stands to reason that, with this one being his version, like anything from this that feels familiar from the first one, like confirms that those scenes in the first movie are gonna be kind of like similar to this. And I mean, maybe maybe sequentially they might be similar, like like the Amazon fight scenes and maybe like the tunnel fight scenes and whatever the final battle is. But for the most part, like anything that feels similar in this from the first version will kind of confirm that, like it's basically it can also be what like Zack originally wrote in the script, but then Whedon reshaped it for his own intents and purposes. So I think that level of familiarity, I think I'm okay with for now, because of the fact that I feel like it kind of prepares me for what to expect. I think what I love is that it actually feels and looks different. It actually, like, I think, especially frame-wise, like, I think the frame-wise, like, we were warned, like, in the trailers, and, like, Zack himself actually said that, like, okay, like, the aspect ratio is not going to be the typical kind of widescreen format you have with the black bars on top. Like, instead, he did shoot an IMAX version, like, in the hopes of getting a theatrical release, but then even for, like, online streaming versions, he actually did do a version where, like, the top and the bottom are, like, expanded, so you see more of that, but then the actual sides have the black versions on top. So I think I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with it, because I still get those black boxes. I think you're pretty much meant to, but it's just like for the sake of the IMAX. So like with the IMAX, I think you might still have the actual wide screens, but then the top and bottom is taken off, so you can actually just kind of like lay them one over the other afterwards in post. I presume he's maybe already done that, but I think like the initial release for this, because of what's going on, is the actual home release for the streaming services. So kudos to Zack for doing that. But a lot of stuff does kind of look familiar. So like especially the Wonder Woman's museum fight scene. My God, I do not remember that it being that good in the 2017 version. I definitely don't remember it looking that good in the 2017. That's one of those scenes where I remember the fact that it happened. I remember there was a museum fight scene in the 2017 version. I just don't remember it being that good. I do not remember like this one. Like she was not holding back with her punches. Like she punched a dude in the chest, he went flying back, hit another dude, and then they both collapsed against the wall. She would kick another dude, and he would go flying through the ceiling, and then she'd punch another dude, but then he went flying at the people, and then she grabbed him and then threw him back at the window again. So like her powers were unparalleled here. Like they were no match for her. They were no match for her. And even her kind of slow motion dodges were a lot more kind of emphasized too, and her kind of, especially like that shooting scene too, where he actually goes fully automatic, and like that kind of transition too, like he fires one bullet and then she comes down and blocks it, and then he's like, oh great, okay, now I'm gonna have to unleash more. So then he just switches the safety onto fully automatic and then unleashes a flurry of bullets, and then she has no issue running and just dodging and blocking and everything. So that was really cool. Like the fluidity of that scene, and like her presence, and like the way that scene is actually executed is just, for one thing, it does feel very kind of Snydery, but also it just shows that Zack Snyder knows how to handle fight scenes. Like he knows how to do it, and I think it definitely feels like it feels like an actual Wonder Woman fight scene. It doesn't feel like he's just trying to like show off like a typical kind of female superhero in a fight or anything. Like it actually shows he actually plays like he's actually showing Wonder Woman, an Amazon warrior with superpowers, actively fighting to defend people, and actively fighting multiple people, and actually using her powers and stuff like that. So my God, that was good. And especially also, I think what we definitely didn't have was that scene at the end, like her actually meeting the people, her actually being like, oh, are you okay, are you good, are you okay, you're safe now, don't worry, the bad guys are gone. And then even her meeting the young girl at the end too, like she's like that. I recognize the young girl from the trailer. Like they actually showed her meeting a young girl, like one of the survivors in the actual trailer, and she's smiling at us. So, I mean, from that shot in the trailer alone, you could tell that like we were gonna get that kind of moment with Wonder Woman, like her being like an inspiration for women and young girls everywhere. And I think with this one especially, like like the girl especially being like, can I be like you one day? And her being like, you know what, you can be anything you want to be. Like again, he knows. Like we definitely never got that. I think like Joss Whedon I think he definitely did not put that in the 2017 version. And I mean okay, like in like I'll say it now, right? I do kind of feel bad for constantly like looping everything back to the Whedon version, but you know, like, because in my mind I'm just kind of identifying everything that either wasn't in the original version or wasn't like, or at least didn't originally flow that way. I'm just kind of constantly looping back, like, I'm constantly looping it back in my mind, being like, wait, did this happen in the original version? Like, did it happen this way? But no, this definitely didn't. So this one, it actually goes further to flesh out the fact that Wonder Woman is a hero for the ages. And she is a hero. She stands for inspiration and courage and hope and all that kind of stuff. So this kind of further establishes that, and like the young girl seeing, you know, someone who pretty much looks like her too, actually, you know, cladded out in armor. I mean, not the actual I think the Golden Age armor she had in Wonder Woman 84, but still kind of some pretty badass kind of Amazon armor, like her original one, and what kind of Wonder Woman armor, like a hero that looks like her, fighting a room full of bad guys and saving her life and saving other lives and just being badass in general, like, and her actually hoping to be like her one day, and then Diana herself assuring her, like, you know, you can do anything you set your mind and your heart to, you can be anything, be anyone you want to be. So long as it's good and so long as it's pure and all that stuff. So that kind of scene further establishes that, and actually kind of moves to actually humanize like her. I mean, not that you have any trouble humanizing her, but it actually goes to show that Wonder Woman isn't just there to fight. She actually cares about the people. She cares about actually making sure there are no casualties at the end of the day, and actually cares about inspiring hope and inspiring courage. So, you know, hats off to Snyder for pulling that off. And hats off to Gal too. You know, she has taken the role of Diana Prince in Wonder Woman, and she has smashed it. She's absolutely smashed it. So for that reason as well, I cannot wait. I've been contemplating doing a movie reaction to Wonder Woman 84 at some point. So I think if I can, I'll try and fit it in, like, you know, alongside these kind of Snyder Cut reactions. But either way, I am undeniably eager. I am undeniably eager to actually get into Wonder Woman 84 and see what that is. I've heard mostly positive reviews, but I am willing to wait and see. You know, like, we'll wait and see the movie. We'll wait and see the movie for myself and see what I think. So, yeah, that was amazing. That fight scene was beyond amazing. And yeah, one thing we definitely saw from the end of BVS at Clark's funeral was Bruce and Diana meeting and conversing, and Bruce saying that, you know, there are others out there and we need to find them, and that he just had a feeling that, like, an enemy was coming, and that, you know, they all needed to kind of unite and stand together and fight to defend Earth and everything. So we definitely see that carried on in this. Bruce going to the, I can't remember where he went. I can't tell, because it was definitely like a European place. I can tell that much, definitely European. I can't tell if it was like German or Polish or like Dutch or something. I think because I like even when the woman was actually like singing at the end with the jumper and everything, like there were no subtitles. I couldn't tell what language she was actually singing. It wasn't a language I was all too familiar with, so I wasn't sure. But definitely like a familiar scene with Bruce actually telling the village people that he was aware of Arthur, and him being the Aquaman, and him bringing them fish, and then him actually talking directly to Arthur afterwards too. So he was working to do that, and then we know from the get-go that, you know, like, Arthur being Arthur, he would not immediately want to actually ally with Bruce. I mean, he's aware of him being the like he then found out about him being the Batman, and he, you know, went straight to calling Gotham the shithole that Bruce then works in. So he's aware of all that stuff, but he's not a team player just yet. He's not much of a team player just yet, and I think I do remember from the movie, it does literally take Steppenwolf attacking Atlantis and taking the mother box that's there for him to actually join forces with Bruce and be like, okay, yeah, Steppenwolf took a mother box from my homeland to my underwater, my Aqualand too. So I feel like we actually might need to get together and suit up and do this thing. So looking forward to that reunion. I'm wondering if there's going to be any kind of sass from Batman. I mean, I don't think Snyder is the kind of I don't think Snyder's the kind of guy to put that kind of humor into it. But I think, you know, like, yeah, I think it would be funny to imagine, but seeing it executed, I think Bruce might just kind of be kind of more happy that, you know, finally we have like another ally on our side, and now it's time to fight. So then, yeah, he might just be like that. But I think the sass is more imaginable. But I mean, he might even be able to pull off sass in like his own kind of gruff and kind of, you know, grovelly way, but I think it still wouldn't be like the kind of typical sass you might kind of imagine. But either way, looking forward to that reunion later on. So we had that, and then I think I liked the parallels of the kind of grave visits, like Martha visiting Clark's grave back in Kansas, and then Lois visiting Superman's grave in Metropolis, like his kind of monument and his kind of like where his statue used to be before Doomsday destroyed it. I like those parallels. So like, you know, like Martha is still kind of mourning her son, the one that she knew, and the one that she lost, and then like Lois having been more connected to Superman and actually encouraging Clark to reinstill the hope in to reinstill the hope in his symbol and the hope in his name and stuff like that. Like in the last movie, she's like, you know, like this symbol, like it means something, so, you know, make sure people know that and everything. So like she still believes in Superman and that idea, and him being Clark being a hero for the people, and still remembers what he did, the price he paid to save the people from Doomsday. So like those kinds of parallels too, like, you know, like Martha kind of undeniably like remembering and cherishing the memory of her son more than the kind of superpowered being the world saw him as. She would go straight to his grave, and then and then Lois being Lois, she would go to Superman's kind of monument and visit that, like that kind of parallel, like through those scenes, being able to envision what their individual relationships were like to Clark and Superman, and seeing like not just like who they valued, because I think Martha was undeniably proud of him and proud of what he accomplished being Superman, and like how much he inspired hope and how much he helped people. But, you know, I think she lost a lot more than Superman that day, and she lost like her son, so that is what she values above all else. But then Lois would value Clark too, but then Superman, you know, like she saw firsthand what it was like watching Clark fly at Doomsday and driving the kryptonite spear into us. So like she saw his sacrifice firsthand, so I think she values that, like that price of his own freedom and his own life that he paid in order to save the world. And to her, that is what Superman is, like someone who's willing to pay the price, and someone who would sacrifice themselves to even even that sacrifice taking place in a movie about people so determined, like a movie like that sacrifice taking place, like, you know, like being like in a movie where people are so adamant that he leave their home planet, and then in the end he actually sacrifices himself to save their home planet. So like that kind of like, you know, those kinds of different kind of tonal shifts and tonal kind of consistencies, if you will, was really, really nice to see. Like those kinds of parallels was really, really cool to see. So that was fun. And I think we also saw that the house is now kind of like being so to the salt of the bank. So I do kind of anticipate Zack still maybe keeping that in, like, because again, like I think in like the one Batman thing that happened, the one kind of consistent like Bruce Wayne thing even that happened in the original version, was Bruce actually buying the bank, like him buying the bank, especially I think any normal person with his money would just be like, oh, I bought the house back for you, so now, you know, like now don't worry about it. But then he's just like, I'm Bruce Wayne, I bought the bank, I just bought the bank. Now that bank alone is now property of Wayne Enterprises. So now like that is the most of Bruce Wayne thing too. So I think I'm hoping / anticipating that Zack maybe like not only maintains that, not only retains that, but maybe actually extends upon it and establishes upon it, and actually makes it like maybe like an even funnier, or maybe like an even more kind of hopeful hitting kind of scene. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what that's like. But I think we know what kind of direction that could be headed in. So that was fun. That was definitely fun. And then the other fight scene, Amazons versus Steppenwolf. That was so good. So we officially see what Steppenwolf looks like now, and he looks great. He looks a lot. I think even from the trailers, like there was a definite kind of bit like an appearance upgrade from him. Like Zack actually poured CGI into making him look and sound and feel like an intimidating and powerful kind of villain. And he sounds so much deeper and boomier and gruffer, and he actually looks like all thought like his armor actually shifts like scales and everything, and like that looks so cool. And his helmet actually fits around his face, and like he just looks, you know, like a villain worth fighting, like a villain worth being afraid of, or like a villain worth kind of, you know, like I think for this one, his appearance actually kind of lends into the gravity of the actual fight scene too. Like the kind of the story, like the concept of the fight scene, the story behind the fight scene, the Amazons like not only fighting Steppenwolf but also fighting to get the mother box away from Steppenwolf, kind of fits in more with this now. Like Zack isn't afraid to show that, you know, like Steppenwolf is a guy willing to kill, willing to do whatever, and he did kill. I'm pretty sure. I think there was blood in this. There was definitely. I think this movie has been rated R. I'm aware of that. This movie has been rated R, so I think that kind of makes me kind of weary and anxious to see what kind of combat they're willing to go into. And I think I'm like 60-70% sure he might have like beheaded or kind of sliced open an Amazon on the outside, like once he was actually outside and like on the fields of Themyscira, like in that scene where he was actually being, you know, like pummeled with arrows and everything, and like he actually pulled an Amazon off her horse, and then she stood up to fight him, and then he kind of dashed his axe, and I think like there was like a huge gash of blood, and then there was like a something I just saw like falling to the ground, so I think like being separated from the body. So I was like, wait, did he just behead an Amazon? Like, is that something that actually happened? So I think I'm curious to see, like, I mean, it's rated R, but I don't know. I mean, like, for the sake of this still being a superhero movie, I don't know how deep into the R rating he might go. Like, if he's like, he's probably not going to go all Deadpool, like show Steppenwolf like splitting someone open. Like, it's not going to be like a Mortal Kombat fatality or anything. But he's still, Steppenwolf is not afraid to spill some blood. And even I think doing this now, like, there's a like the line from the tunnel fight scene of like him telling Amazon, like, you know, oh, my axe is slick with the blood of your sisters. Like, if like, you know, him showing Amazon actually drawing blood from Amazon now, like that line would fit in so much better, and maybe Zack could even maybe like write it even better, or be like, you know, just something more kind of intimidating, and something that would actually draw Diana into a more kind of vengeful kind of fight against him. But yeah, that fight scene was so good. He looked great. The parademons came in. They looked pretty much. I think the parademons don't really need much of like an upgrade or much kind of. I think they need kind of, you know, like decent villain CGI, and Zack kind of paid up on that front. But I think the main objective was make Steppenwolf look good, which he absolutely did. And the Amazons, oh my god, the Amazons are amazing. The combat, like, they were driven and determined and fearsome, and they're like that line too, like, you know, oh, Amazons, daughters of Themyscira, show him your fear. We have no fear. Like them actually being willing and ready and prepared to die to save Themyscira and to also preserve the Mother Box too, which it didn't pan out in the end, but still, we knew that was going to happen. We knew that, but I think regardless, like, them fighting so hard to save each other and to actually save the Mother Box too, that was so good. And the Amazons that were swinging the hammers, they were so buff. Like, again, like, you know, I think that's also like another thing was actually like Zack is not afraid to show off how physically strong women can be and how strong they are. Like, those women, like, I think, you know what, I think I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna have an easier and harder time to, consuming Wonder Woman 84. Like, if that's the case, like, just he's not afraid to show off buff women. He's not afraid to show off buff women with muscles, and just them actually plowing down the pillars, holding the stone walls up and everything. That was just. We definitely didn't have that. We definitely didn't have that before, and that was amazing. I will never complain about buff women in my superhero media or any media. So that will definitely be a sight to look forward to. I think I'm hoping we still get the fight scene from way back when, like the ancient humans and the Amazons and the lanterns and everything. That fight's coming in. I don't think that was still in the trailers. I think that will still be maintained. But that would be awesome to see. That would be super duper awesome to see. But yeah, just Amazons are amazing. Amazons are beyond incredible. They're just you know, buff women run the world. Buff women run Amazon. Like, Themyscira is the world now. Buff women run the world. They run the world. But yeah, I can't wait for more. I cannot wait for more. So yeah, and yeah, and I think in the end, like he did still kind of slaughter them. Like, you know, like, I think I said it then, I'll say it again. You know, Hippolyta and her remaining sisters and daughters will definitely have to do a lot of mourning. They lost many brave Amazons in that kind of dome room place thing that the Mother Box was being kept in. And yeah, like, you know, I think I kind of appreciated that kind of very quick shift from like going from Hippolyta thinking the fight was over to then the parademons and like Steppenwolf just jumping out of the water, and then the parademons coming out and flying out, like showing like, yeah, your sisters are dead, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here for that damn Mother Box, and I'm gonna get it if it's the last thing I do. So he was not afraid. He was nowhere near afraid. So that was something. That was a much more embellished fight scene, a lot more kind of fluid, and again, like the combat in like the combat for this opening alone already seems very, very kind of enjoyable to watch and very, very well constructed. So I cannot wait to see what more Snyder has in store for this. So it's gonna be great. But yes, I think this first opening, only one Mother Box was taken. Only the Amazonian Mother Box was taken. So coming parts. I think I am curious as to whether he'll try and fit the taking of the other two mother boxes all into one part, all into the next part, or if he'll actually spread them out. Because I think if he spreads them out, that means that we'll actually have time to explore each kind of background and each kind of environment that it's in. So like with this one, we had a little bit of exploration. I think with this one, we didn't have much exploration of Amazon or like its kind of containment of the mother box. So I think that might come in a different one. I think the exploration of the environments, maybe. I think it will show off more time maybe spent trying to defend it, maybe, and then like another separate part will show. I think what I anticipate is actually getting like an entire chapter dedicated to that battle, maybe like that battle of the ancient humans and the Amazons and everyone coming together to defend the mother boxes, because it was after that battle that they actually decided to send it to different corners in different parts of the earth. So I assume we'll actually get like an entire chapter dedicated to that battle, showing off like how showing off like the mythology behind Steppenwolf and Darkseid and his kind of ambition, his goals, and the mother boxes and what they're capable of, and then showing like a battle, like a much more fleshed out battle, showing who the allies are, how they came together, how they fought, and then in the end where they sent it, and then afterwards it'll be something else. I think I'm anticipating a chapter dedicated to that, like that kind of history that actually kind of explains why the mother boxes are important, like where they are, like who wants them, why Darkseid is important, who he is, who his allies are, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely looking forward to more of the Snyder Cut. Definitely looking forward to more of it. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is all I've got from this first part. Very, very concise, very compact, and just very, very enjoyable. So I am very eager to get into more of this and more. The rest of the reactions will be coming up soon over the course of this weekend. So fingers crossed that nothing actually goes wrong and things actually happen as fluidly as I can make them happen. But yeah, that was part one. So yeah, I think going forward I do promise to try and stop to at least try and stop making so many comparisons to the original version. But I think if I do, I'll just try and keep them in my head and actually appreciate it for what Snyder has given us in this director's cut, and just leave it at that. But yeah, apologies if it made the reaction any less enjoyable. That's on me. I take full responsibility. But yeah, I will be watching part 2 soon, very, very soon. So that was part 1. Don't count on it, Batman. So thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought on what you thought of this first part, and what your thoughts on the opening and the sequences and how the story opened up were, and what you're looking forward to, and any spoiler-free kind of comments you have, leave them in the comments below. Those are more than welcome. But yeah, that is, and also the full-length reaction for this part will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, I will see you guys in part 2. So yeah, see you guys next time.